Hi, Michelle.
Hi.
How are things in Columbus?
I'm in Columbus. How's it going with you?
Good. We had a little bit of everything today. Wrap cold.
What?
Like snow and rain mix. You have a cold?
Yes.
Not COVID.
So I didn't even think of. I just got it.
Well, hopefully.
Yep. I think it's more of a sinus infection. Why am I?
We're both
I'm echoing.
We are.
Oh, you are too? Why is that?
Technology. So is everybody all your clients filed?
No. I'm not done yet. It's terrible.
Well, gotta train them in shape.
Going to get rid of.
Let's see. There. In. Wasn't that cool?
Hi,
Hi.
You got a haircut.
Hi.
Oh, look. You got
Do you have an echo?
Yeah, we have an echo.
Oh,
Make it low.
Everybody has an echo.
yeah.
It's gonna be a long service with an echo.
Yeah.
I hear enough stuff as it is.
Let me
Hey,
check that.
Michelle's 101 out here today.
Sounds nice.
Mm-mm.
Oh, hi, Dennis. Hi, Flossie.
Hi, Dennis. Hi, Flossie. We're not gonna watch it. Sounds weird.
This is weird, yeah.
No.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I think we can get everyone's focus a little bit more.
Yeah.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
That's better. This is so wonderful. It's wonderful to be here, to celebrate together and online, to have Shabbat together, to be in community, and to celebrate to begin celebrating our adult B'nai Mitzvah. To gather and to set our space, I want to ask each of us to take a deep breath in and release. And with this next deep breath, I want you to breathe in very deeply, and then when you let it out, to let go of the stresses, the anxiety, the difficulties of the week. So first breathe in. And then release all of the difficulties of the week. And with this last breath, we breathe in the sweetness. They say that Shabbat has a sweet smell like no other time of the week. So breathe in. And release. We gather in this sacred space here in the sanctuary or in the sacred space that you've set up at home for sacred time, for sacred connection, and for sacred celebration of our adult B'nai Mitzvah. And so we join together an opening song, which is Maya Hayom. For those of you at home, it's going to magically appear on your screen. And for those of you here in the sanctuary, it will magically appear when you turn to page 330.
Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom. Maya Hayom. Shabbat Shalom.
We turn to kindle the Shabbat lights and offer the blessing for the wine. I would like to invite the entire B'nai Mitzvah class forward. I'd like to invite Muriel Letterman, Justin Maraschke, Jonathan Yasani. You can come up even if you haven't heard your name. It's okay. Tessa Gable, Dorothea Polster, and Eric Arnold to come forward. They're going to stand over here and kindle the Shabbat lights. Who's the first reader?
Come all the way up. All the way by the, make a little circle around the candles. Get closer to the candles so that you can light them.
Oh, wait, you're going to light them. You go over here.
There you go. You're good.
Good.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us.
As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat.
The heaven and the earth were finished, in all their array on the seventh day. God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done.
And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila למקראי קודש, זכר ליציאת מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת, מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך, באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
This evening, the adult B'nai Mitzvah class will be joining me in leading the service. In fact, they're going to lead a significant part of the service. And tomorrow morning, they're going to really be leading the entire service. We turn now to opening reading on page 8. I begin with a prayer of gratitude for all that is holy in my life. God needs no words, no English or Hebrew, no semantics, and no services, but I need them. Through prayer, I can sense my inner strength, my inner purpose, my inner joy, my capacity to love. As I reach upward in prayer, I sense these qualities in my Creator. To love God is to love each other, to work to make our lives better. To love God is to love the world God created and to work to perfect it. To love God is to love dreams of peace and joy that illumine all of us and to bring that vision to life. We turn to page 28 for the Baruch Hu, our call to worship. We rise in body or in spirit.
Baruch hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
It's my pleasure to ask Dorothea Polster to come forward to lead.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim, uvitvuna mishanei itim, umachalif et hazmanim, umisader et hakochavim, b'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'laila, golel or mipnei hoshech, v'hoshech mipnei or, uma'avir yom umevi laila, umavdil ben yom uvein laila, Adonai tzvaot shemo, El chai v'kayam, Tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
My pleasure to invite Muriel Letterman to come forward as we turn to pages 34 and 35 for the Shema.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. The Va'ahavta is on page 36.
Please be seated.
Va'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol miotecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anohi mitzavcha hayom halevavecha Vishinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shiftecha b'veitecha uv'leftecha v'derech u'shochbecha uv'kumecha u'kshartam al levavot beitecha u'visharecha u'tisiru Va'asitem et kol mitzvotai Yikitem kadoshim Elohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeiti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lahem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem.
We continue with Micha Mocha on page 40. Micha Mocha is our song of the sea. It is when we crossed the Red Sea, when the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, they realized they were finally free from slavery. And they took a moment to have a party, to say, this is amazing, and we should celebrate. And the celebration was this song of gratitude to God, this song of having taken the time to just say thank you. And so on page 40, or magically on your screen, we sing together.
Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai yai lai 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 lai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot dosei pele, Norah tehilot dosei pele. Malechutecha ra'u v'necha, Lifnei yam lifnei Moshe, Zei li anu ve'amru, Zei li anu ve'ameru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai 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 yai lai la lai lai yai lai 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 yai la lai lai yai lai 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 lai.
On page 42, Hashkivenu. Hashkivenu is our evening lullaby. As the sun sets, we give thanks for the specialness of the day, and we also ask for God's protection. We ask for God to place around us a sukkot shalom, a shelter of peace. This is one of the oldest prayers in our prayer book, probably written around 800. It makes sense, actually, that this is one of the oldest prayers because before there were cell phones and before there was electric lights, nighttime was really scary. And so that's when we called out to God for help, when things were literally very dark. And so even though we know that we can turn on the light, nighttime can still be a time of darkness. And so we turn to God and ask for help, whether it be for physical shelter or spiritual protection. We sing Hashkivenu on page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom, l'shalom, v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha, ufros aleinu sukkot shlomecha. Shelter us beneath thy wings, O Adonai. Guard us from all harmful things, O Adonai. Keep us safe throughout the night, till we wake with morning's light. Teach us, God, wrong from right. Amen. Amen. Amen.
Page 44, Vishamru. Vishamru is a reminder to observe Shabbat, which we're already doing, so it seems a little bit redundant. But it's a reminder of what Shabbat can be for each one of us. The last word of the song, it's the text, but we're going to sing it, is Vayinafash. And Vayinafash is renewed. And so the hope, the prayer, is that with Shabbat, we will find a little bit of renewal with this special time.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת et yamim. Asa Adonai, Asa Adonai, et hashamayim vet haaretz, uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, veshamru bnei Yisrael et hashabat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
Turn to page 46 for the tefillah. It is a pleasure for me to invite Eric Arnold to come forward and Justin Marashki. They will lead us in the tefillah.
Give me 1 second. Hang on. It worked great in rehearsal. I just got it. Thank you. Okay.
Please rise.
Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai tiftach. Na 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 Ufi yagid. Ufi yagid tehilatecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanorah El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezoher Haste Avot Veimahot, Unevi Geula Livnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo B'Yahava, Melech Chozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah.
Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechai hakol ata rav lehoshia. Mechachel hayim bekesed. Mekayeh hakol berachamim rabim. Somek noflim verofe holim. Umatir asurim. Umekayeh emunato. Lishenei afar. Michamocha ba'okevurot. Umidomela. Melech memi. Umekayeh. Umasmiach Yeshua. V'namaman ata chayot hakol. Baruch ata Adonai. Mechayeh hakol.
Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kedoshim b'chol yom yahalelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
Okay, good.
Please be seated. My pleasure to invite forward Jonathan Yasani and Tessa Gable to lead us in Modim.
Modim anachnu lach, sha'ata hu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avutenu ve'imotenu le'olam va'ad. Sor hayenu magen yishenu, ata hu lador v'dor. Nodeh lecha unsaper tehila taha al hayenu, hamsorim be'yada'a ve'al nishmotenu hapkudot lach. La'al nisaha shabchol yom imanu. Ve'al nifloteha ve'tovoteha shabchol 8. Erev vavoker v'tsoho ra'im.
Hatov kilo chalu rachamecha v'hamrachem kilo tamu hasadecha me'olam kavinu lach. Va'al kulam yitbarak v'yitromam shimcha malkenu tamid le'olam va'ed. V'chol ha'chaim yaduka sela v'halelu et shimcha be'emet. Ha'el Yeshuatenu ve'ezratenu sela. Baruch ata Adonai hatov shimcha ocha na'eh lehodot.
The prayer that Tessa and Jonathan just beautifully read is about giving thanks. And so we take a moment to be grateful for all of the blessings that we have in our lives as we turn to page 60. And we also pray for peace as we sing Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki hatahu melech Adon lechol Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
We take a moment now to think and pray for all of those in our, this is muted, I'm going to start over. We take a moment now to think and pray for all of those in our temple family, near and far, who are struggling with illness, struggling with spiritual struggle, physical illness, mental illness. And as my hand passes over the congregational community, I urge you to say aloud the name of a loved one so that they will know and feel our strength, giving them strength in a time of need. And if you are joining us online, as Rabbi Shauna likes to say, in Zoomlandia, if you are joining us in Zoomlandia, please share in the chat the names of loved ones so that we can all together as one united community share strength for those who are in need.
Jane, Michael, and Ing.
And all of the names still in our hearts, I'd like to also lift up the names of those who were injured in the terrorist attack in Israel and all of those struggling in Ukraine, and all of those who have fled Ukraine. And we sing together our healing prayer. The words can be found, if you need them, on 253.
Sheberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Sheberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Yishaberachim Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Yishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us strength, show us the way. מי שברך אבותינו, מי שברך אמותינו, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as
We take a moment for silent prayer and reflection.
Say shalom bimrovav, uyase shalom aleinu,
ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Giving a sermon in this early spring when I want to focus on the Torah portions, I think in my head, here we go again, the dreaded portions in the book of Leviticus. Just in case you need a refresher or you don't know exactly what I'm talking about, in Leviticus, the Israelites are a fairly new formed faith. They're relying heavily on the priests, not rabbis yet, and to communicate with God, they use sacrifices. Additionally, the new faith community turned to the priests to talk about disease, death, even for directions post-childbirth. So Leviticus can be a little bit difficult. In this week's Torah portion, the priests are sought out. They're sought out when a building is found to have something called tzara'at, which is most often translated as leprosy, but it's really not known. The priest is called in. What should be done? The priest determines steps. isolation of the area, removal of the offensive stones, than actual destruction of the entire building. It's not easy to read verses about skin disease and scaly infections. It might feel like we're playing some sort of joke on the bar and bat mitzvah students assigned to learn these verses. Oh, well, we did assign these verses to bar and bat mitzvah students, but we didn't actually play a joke. These verses are uncomfortable, and rather than avoid the discomfort, if we lean into it, we can learn a lot. Tomorrow, our adult B'nai Mitzvah class will share their learnings in a very impressive Devar Torah. To understand the Torah portion, the rabbis did a lot of study. And some rabbis did what we would call today reframing. Reframing is, quote, the process of reconceptualizing a problem by seeing it from a different perspective. While this definition is relatively contemporary, the concept, we know, is not. The ancient rabbis found a way to reframe tzara'at, or leprosy, in a home to become actually a blessing. This took some work. So here's a midrash. A midrash is a story, an inquiry into the text, into a text that is confusing. It's written around the verse from Leviticus chapter 14, verse 34. Simply, the verse is, and I inflict the plague of tzara'at. So they took this little tiny verse and they made a story about it. Rabbi Chia learned, and this is good news for them that a plague will come upon them. And Rabbi Shimon, son of Yochai, said, since the Canaanites heard that Israel was coming upon them, the Canaanites got up and hid their money in their houses and in their fields, and then the Canaanites left. The Holy One, blessed be God, said, I promised to your forefathers that I would bring their children to a land full of good and houses full of good. And so what did God do? God made tzara'at in the houses of the Jews who settled in Israel. The owner, the Israelite, would have to deal with the tzara'at. And what would they find? In order to deal with the tzara'at, they would have to take apart the house and find what? The treasures of the Canaanites. In other words, they reframed the entire story to find a blessing. The tzara'at in this case was a way to bring about a blessing, a way to find a treasure. It is pretty significant gymnastics. Yet, what at first seems meaningless or even a punishment is in fact the pathway to something ever more meaningful. Rabbi Levi Yitzchak of Berdichev teaches that the tzara'at in the walls are actually metaphors. They're metaphors for what holds us back, for what limits our understanding. The rabbis of the Midrash were not limited, and they did not hold themselves back. They made story after story of possibility, of reframing. Reframing is a powerful tool. It provides new ways to see. We can then better question what is normal, what has always been. Rabbi Ben Spratt teaches that when we do, we begin to question old assumptions and old norms. The possibilities that open are then extraordinary, and paths emerge that we never considered before. And so we did not play a joke on our adult B'nai Mitzvah class when picking this date and assigning these difficult verses, because they'd already proven that they knew how to reframe. They pushed past assumptions about what a bar or bat mitzvah is supposed to be. They knocked down the walls of norms and choosing to become adult bar and bat mitzvah, and in so doing, we have all found blessing and treasure. Shabbat Shalom.
So, Rabbi, I have to say, I didn't have any songs about leprosy and tzara'at.
I'm grateful for that.
So tonight, I decided I would share a Shabbat song, Yedid Nefesh, which basically the translation is, "Beloved of the soul, source of mercy, draw your servant into your arms. I leap like a deer to stand in awe before you." So we will sing this Shabbat song. If you know it, please sing along. Harachaman, Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman, Meshochav Decha, Eretzoncha, Meshochav Decha, Ya la 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 la, Eretzoncha. La 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 la, El Muadarecha, Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman, Yedid Nefesh of Harachaman, Meshochav Decha, Eretzon. La 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 la, Eretzonecha, Meshochav-techa, Ya la 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 la, Eretzonecha.
Thank you, Deb. It reminds me that we did not share that many of the music choices this evening were chosen by the adult B'nai Mitzvah class for this evening and tomorrow morning, and especially tomorrow morning's closing song. So you should come tomorrow morning for the closing song, if nothing else.
You can come earlier, too.
I didn't even think about that my syntax was not very good. Please rise for the Aleinu. You can find it on page 283 and 287. Let us adore the ever-living God and render praise unto you, who spreads out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory is revealed in the heavens above, and whose greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is none else.
Va'anachnu korim umishtachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'nemar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
Please be seated. We turn now to our time of remembering. Our memorial meditation can be found on page 290. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands, and by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. On this Shabbat, we remember those taken most recently from our temple family. We remember Bill Nidus, Grace Richards, Marjorie L. Groden, and we mark the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of death that fall on this Shabbat. Francis Eisner Barjansky, Fanny Herstam Bernstein, Robert A. Bernstein, Charles Cohen, Emil Cohn Jr., Milton I. Doss, Miriam Goodwin Eisenberg, Jay Engel, Harold Fellinger, Howard M. Gans, Jules Garrell, Dorothea Gessenhuis, Jacob I. Glickman, Mordecai Goldhammer, Grant K. Goodman, Sylvan Grott, William M. Heller, Edward F. Hirsch, Norman D. Carmel, Shirley Catcher, Samuel S. Kaufman, Jeanette K., Catherine Marks Kornhauser, Joseph Kramer, Mark Larange, Bernard Lefkowitz, Louise Stodder Miltziner, Nettie Nataris, Odell Nathanson, Judy Nathanson, Harry New Sr., Marion Stodder Reed, Elizabeth Leidenheim Rosenberg, Elise Rosenberg, Paul M. Rosenwasser, Imogene H. Schnapp, Ruth Sherman, Minna Silverman Siegel, Jane W. Weingart, Benjamin James Wolpow. Our griefs and sympathies are mingled as together we turn to page 294 at Rise as Able for the Mourner's Kaddish. Yit Gadal V'yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah B'alma Divra Hirute V'amlich Malchute B'chayechon Uvyomechon Uvchaye Dechol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala V'izman Kari V'imru Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah Mivorach Leolam Almei Almaya Yit Barach V'yishtabach V'yit Pa'ar V'yit Romam V'yit Naseh V'yit Hadar V'yit Taleh V'yit Talal Shemei Tikudisha Berechu Le'ilam Minkol Birchata V'shirata Tush B'chata V'nechamata Da'amiran B'alma V'imru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabbah Min Shemaya V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. Osei Shalom Bimromav Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imru Amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and give comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say together, Amen. Please be seated. I'd like to invite the president of our congregation to come forward, Lori Rosenberg, to share some announcements.
Do this. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
It is so, no, I don't need that one, I'm looking at here. It is so nice to see the sanctuary full, and I'd like to welcome all of the friends and families of our bar and bat mitzvah students, adult students, to our community, and hope you enjoyed tonight's service. And I know, tomorrow I met Eric today, but I know the rest of the students, and it is going to be an amazing day. So look forward to seeing all of you tomorrow. I'd like to thank Rabbi Van for this service. This is the one service, every couple of years. It's just really special. Deb Rogers and Jacob Rogers, Deb for the music, Jacob for keeping us connected to, as Rabbi Shauna would say, Zoomlandia. And I would also like to thank Rabbi Shauna, has spent the last 16 months working with our students and getting them to the magnificent place they were tonight, and even more so tomorrow. Each Friday we go through and we share our appreciation for the staff, for the volunteers that put together this service. And I think that goes double, triple, quadruple for this weekend. There took a lot of people to put all of this together. So we say thank you, and then we say thank you, and then we say thank you again. So thank you, those of you guys are here, for making this special for our congregation and our bar and bat mitzvah students. So now on for the real announcements. Thank you again to the students, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I was in your place several years ago, and it is an amazing day, and so take in every minute of it. So the Women's Seder that we had scheduled for this weekend and the Women's Book Club have been canceled. So just want everybody to know that. And surprise, surprise, Passover is around the corner, and it starts next Shabbat. So everybody can be celebrating Shabbat with their family. We're going to do a Zoom service. It will start at 5 o'clock. So log on at 5 o'clock. Celebrate Shabbat, and then we'll be able to celebrate Passover. So I'm not going to take your red folder. Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. We close with one final request from the class for our closing song, Od Yavo Shalom. It is really a beautiful request because it means may peace come to us and to everyone and for the entire world. You can find Od Yavo Shalom on page 353. And this is, I think, a standing song. So let's please rise.
Definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam, salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam, salam. 2, 3, 4. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam. Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Be'al Kulam.
Our benediction followed immediately by motzi, blessing over the bread. For those of you here, there will be challah right outside.
Okay. I didn't need it anyway. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and keep you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May the light of God's presence shine upon you and be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha. May Yasem lecha shalom, veyasem lecha shalom.
May God lift up each one of us, and may God bring us shalom, peace, and wholeness. Amen.
Amen. All right. Hamotzi lechem min haaretz, we give thanks to God for bread. Our voices rise in song together, as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'teavon.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Well, they done it. You're muted, Bruce.
Hi, Brett.
Hi, Brett.
How many people were there?
Sorry, say that again?
How many people were there?
I counted 49 people in the sanctuary.
Oh, how nice. Oh, that sounds beautiful.
So,
And how many do you think tomorrow?
if what they've told us arrives, well, about 110, 115.
No,
It'll be the biggest crowd in the sanctuary in a long time.
for good reason. For very good reason.
Should be beautiful morning. So they're excited. We got lots of family here. It's nice to see so many faces in the sanctuary. It's great.
Oh, that's wonderful. Yay.
Will it be streamed?
Oh yeah, it's going to be the same Shabbat link, the same link that you deal with for Friday nights. Just click on that tomorrow morning at 10:30, and we will be live. It will be just watch the cable. It will be
Not
the
Zoom.
typical Zoom. No, it'll be Zoom, but it won't be eCam. It's going to be a single view, single set camera wide for the whole service because we got a lot of moving parts and stuff. But yeah, it'll be on Zoom. You can watch it, join us, worship with us. We'd love to have you.
We'll be there.
What times it start?
10:30. It will run a little long. It will not be done quite at noon. We have everyone has messages, and we got multiple rabbis that need to give blessings. You know, I'd shoot for 12:15, 12:20 if I were you, but it should be a lovely service.
Great. Thank you. Enjoy.
All right.
Bye.
All right, Lila Tov. I'm gonna hang up the Zoom. I'm gonna go see people in the lobby. Okay.
Bye.
Nice to have everybody. Bye.